welcome back to another episode of Pickups. Of course, the segment on the Cat Invited show where we just show you everything we picked up in the form of movies, comic books, video games, all within the last month. Of course, this month or day, this episode, that's the word. Yeah, this episode we're going to be talking about everything I picked up in the month of December 2016. Of course, before we start, I figure I should address the elephant in the room. You're all probably sitting at your camera and going like, Ash? The fuck is that? And to make a long story short, I watched Jurassic World again. Chris Pratt is very attractive in that film with his mustache, so I figured I can do that. Surely I will look the same. And I went in trying to look like Chris Pratt. I came out looking like some baby of Ken Bone and Ned Flanders, but I don't know, I kind of like it. Let's show you my pickups. And of course, we always like to start with the Blu-rays that I picked up in the last month, starting off with a movie that this was supposed to be in the November one, but I forgot to put it in there. So here's Kubo and the Two Strings. Yeah, I picked up Kubo in November, forgot to show it off in the video, but I did rewatch it, and I loved it so much on the rewatch. I was like, well, you gotta talk about the Kubo Blu-ray. Ash, you need to update your opinion on it, because this movie, it kind of fell into that obscurity of the year as far as my list was concerned. After rewatching this and just falling in love with everything it does all over again, but more so, yeah, I like it a lot. Let's just say you'll probably see it on my best of the year list. Up next, I have what I would personally call not only the most underrated movie of the year, but also the best comedy of the year. That's right, Storks! Yeah, no one cared about Storks. Did anyone see Storks? I saw Storks and I loved this movie. I recently rewatched it. I actually rewatched it on Christmas Day. And I'm telling you, if you haven't seen Storks, if you're a fan of animation, you're a fan of that 2016 animation where you're like, oh, it's all pretty good. I am telling you, this is one of the best. It is absolutely clever. It's funny. It's witty. It hits you in the gut with feels by the end of it. It's that kind of movie, but I love it. Why doesn't anyone care about Storks? It's amazing. And then, since this is basically becoming a monthly thing now, I did pick up the second live-action Rurouni Kenshin movie. This is my favorite of the trilogy, so I'm really excited to own it. I know the third one came out like a few weeks ago, so I need to go down to the Best Buy and pick that up for my next January pickups. But just to reiterate everything I've already said about the live-action Rurouni Kenshin movies, they're amazing, and they're basically anime sword fights brought to life, and if that doesn't get you hype, I don't know what will. And coming up next, I guess this is the first one today in this episode that is a part of the entire, we need to get rid of all my DVDs because, they're caveman material, so we gotta replace them all with Blu-ray. So I'm going for that Ghibli route, and I got Princess Mononoke on Blu-ray. This is, of course, one of Hayao Miyazaki's best and darkest works. It's just one of the best anime movies I have ever seen in my life. I haven't rewatched this in a long while. I know it just had an anniversary recently and it was in theaters and I missed it, and that's sad. But hey, I have it on Blu-ray now, so I can watch it without, the sadness of DVD quality. And coming up next is another movie I think was pretty underrated last year. As a matter of fact, it's one of my favorite movies of last year, and that is The Magnificent Seven. This is, of course, Anton Fuqua's remake of the classic movie that everyone loves except for me. That's right, I don't love the original Magnificent Seven. Love Seven Samurai all the way, but Magnificent Seven for me, it didn't connect with me. Then I saw this remake, and it was absolute Western heaven. I loved everything about this movie. I loved the cast. I loved the action set pieces. I just loved the Western feel it brought to the forefront. And of course, I picked up the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook, which I think is cool. I enjoy this front here. I do think it's a bit, empty without like a title of some sort. And as a matter of fact, I like the back more. I prefer the back. I think maybe this should have been just the thing. You could have written the title there. I like titles. And coming up next is probably my favorite thing that I will show you in this entire video. I mean, this is a Blu-ray set that I have wanted for so long, ever since I was in high school and it was a thing. I was just like, I want that Blu-ray set, but it's so expensive. And guess what? I found it for a cheap price, and I got the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition Motion Picture Trilogy. This thing's amazing. I love this. It opens up. You got all the movies in their extended glory with just a buttload of special features and everything. I've wanted this for so long, but it's always like, okay, you want your Lord of the Rings box set? $100, give it up. Well, you know what? Sometimes drinking really late at night has its, pros, because, every now and then you see Amazon have like a little flash sale where they're like, hey, we'll sell you this for $26, and you get it for $26, and it's like the greatest deal you've ever gotten in your life. I love this thing. I love its thickness too. It's like, I want to get ordained as a minister just so I can marry two people together and just, hold this instead of a Bible, because I feel like this is more important. Up next is a movie that I bought a little too late to be super in the mood for, but I bought it regardless for next December, I guess. That is the live action How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I bought the original animated one in the last month's episode, and I got this one. I liked the case. I liked how glittery it looked. I haven't seen this movie in a long, long time. I know this is kind of one of those love it or hate it kind of films. I remember really enjoying it as a child. I also remember a few weeks ago stumbling upon GIFs of it and going, haha, that is me IRL, so I'm excited to check it out again. It's just, not really in the Christmas spirit anymore, so I guess, you will sit for a year. And now remember how I told you every now and then the pros of drinking late at night can get you a great deal on the Lord of the Rings box set? Yeah, well, also sometimes you just get bored and you buy Free Willy. Yeah, I haven't seen Free Willy in like ages. I checked on IMDb. It's got a bad score. I don't remember. I just know it was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. I must have been nostalgic last month whilst under a very delightful alcohol-induced state. So, now I own it. It was like really cheap, so you can't beat that with a stick. And now up next is another movie that I'm trying to get rid of all the DVDs in my collection because they're caveman material and all that, blah, blah, blah. But it's also just an amazing edition of an amazing movie that I've wanted to own for a long while now. I got it for Christmas, and that is the fantastic Mr. Fox Criterion Blu-ray. This thing is gorgeous. I mean, look at it. Look at it, it's beautiful, it's beautiful. I love it, I love it, I love it. Of course, it's very well noted. Wes Anderson is one of my favorite directors of all time. Like we always talk about that Mount Rushmore of directors. He's on mine, he's top 5 easy, and this is one of his best movies. Of course, it's his stop motion animation. Now he's got a new one coming out that we're all really excited for. It's gonna be about dogs. Which means it's probably gonna be an absolute horror fest, because if anyone loves killing dogs on screen, it's Wes Anderson. And what I have here is the last Blu-ray I picked up in the month of December, and it's one I also think is another underrated gem of 2016, one that I feel like I should definitely rewatch, like soon. And that's Don't Think Twice. I don't know why I keep pausing during this. Don't Think Twice is, of course, Mike Birbiglia's latest directorial effort, and this movie is great. This is one of my favorite movies I've seen all year, just because this is that movie that I think we as a people need, because we get a million movies every year, like my favorite movie of the year, just saying, hey, follow your dreams. But this is like the first movie I've seen in a while that says, yeah, sometimes your dreams don't come true because, you're not as talented as the other guy. It's like a just devastatingly true movie, but it's also a funny movie. It's a heartfelt movie. It's just, if you love Mike Birbiglia as much as I do, you'll probably love this movie because it just oozes him onto screen. And with that, those are all the Blu-rays I bought, so I guess let's make a little left turn into my comic books. And this is yet another month that I didn't exactly get my reading material done before I made this video, so of course some of this is not read. Sorry about that. And starting things off is a comic I got for Christmas, one that I've wanted for a very long time that I can't wait to get into, and that is Batman Nightfall. Of course, the story of how Bane broke the Bat's back. And yeah, I haven't read it yet. Ash, why haven't you read it? Oh, I don't know, look at that. It's like a Bible, that's so big. So big, I ain't got time for that. I won't be able to finish this for at least another year. Or maybe you give me a day on it, I'll get to it, I promise. I wish I had that same like, oh man, it's so long excuse for this next one, but I don't, because I also got Batman Earth 1, which is a comic apparently everyone's super into, and it's also super thin, so you'd think I would have read it, especially considering how late this pickups video is, but not yet. Not yet. I like the art. I looked at the art. That's good. It's in the collection now. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Ah, Ash, why don't you read? You have ruined everyone's life by not reading. It's okay, don't worry everyone. I do have one more comic book here that I did go through the effort of reading and I absolutely loved it, and that is, I got the Injustice Gods Among Us Complete Year 1 collection. I just recently, for the first time, picked up the Injustice video game and I fell in love with it. I absolutely loved everything about that game. I had so much fun, but for me, the story was the most interesting part. This fleshes that out to such an insane extreme. It is so entertaining to read, as well as so conflicting on the inside to read. I mean, Superman, he goes bad, Batman has to go against him. Man, it tugs at your heartstrings, it makes you feel things, it makes you think. It's great, it's great. I can't wait to read more into this series, and I know the new Injustice is coming out, and it looks badass, so I cannot wait to play it. Oh boy, Ash, this is the part where you show us the video games you bought, right? I didn't buy any video games. Sorry. So I guess with that ends this episode of Pickups. Of course, I want to hear from you guys. What did you pick up in the month of December? What's your favorite thing I picked up? What do you want to pick up in the next month? What you do, and let me know. And of course, be sure to do all the things like comment and subscribe, follow me on all my socials, and join into the Cinephile on Facebook. But most importantly, from all of us here at the Cat and Vita Show, you stay classy, YouTube.